Greetings everyone, here's Lodric again, and this is the game Strategic Command World War One. This is a new series I just start, this is more or less in part 2 or turn 2. And I'm playing the Central Powers against the AI. Later, if there's someone like to play by email match, simply let me know. Best come to the Discord server and then ask there. It's always helpful if you have at least some experience, so better beat the AI at least at normal, better on hard. Something like this to get a little experience with the mechanics. But it's not too complicated normally, but this game have a lot of scripts. So there are many events, and it's better to understand and see every event at least once or twice to get a better feeling for it. So this is now the 15th August. So this game is not hardcore coded like War in the Pacific, where one turn, one day. Here it is more like in the summer. I think one turn is like 1 week for me, then 1 week for the allies, and one because it's the turn of the allies, and then it's 1 week for me. But later in autumn, it's changing for the time change much faster. So I think then it's one turn not 1 week, then it's one turn 2 weeks. In winter time, I think one turn is 1 month. So autumn is already faster. Winter is very short, but still some turns. But if you would keep the time fixed, in winter there's not much to do, because in the winter everything is frozen and attacking is very hard and not really change much. So you would have only wasting turns, or waiting turns, and wait. More realistic, but yeah, I think for keeps the game flow a little more active, and yeah, they choose to do this. Anyway, so the first turn is over, so I got some points. And the big question is always what you do with your points first. Normally in this game there are three main factors consuming your money, points, whatever. Number one would be reinforcements. I think this is a typical number one. So if a unit like this one, this unit was fighting last turn, had a battle and lost 3 points out of 10. I could now say reinforce this unit, say give it 3 points back. It cost me 33 points. I have here 376, and also the unit will lose a little morale because these are fresh guys. Okay, this is the number one option. Reinforce disabled units. I would simply say, very roughly, a unit with less than 8, so it must have 10, 9 or 8, is not combat ready, only for defense. 7 and 6 is maybe ready for defense, and if you have not even 6 points or only 5 or less, then normally always try to reinforce or move in the rear. So roughly speaking. So reinforcements is the number one option. The next option would be cancel. The next option would be normally buy units, I would say. Here you can choose what you want to buy. So first you must select because every country has their own budget, so you cannot buy for other units. What you can buy is I don't know if you can see it now. Okay. Later, some secondary minor nations can join the war, like Bulgaria, Greece, even Spain, and so they don't have their own. You don't control them. You have only the three, and then they will always be adjusted to one of the main nations. Like I think Bulgaria will join the Germans. I think later if Egypt, will go to Ottoman. I'm not more so sure, but some nations will join other major powers. For the Allies, I think it's much more than for the Germans. Good. So again, you have production. This is already paid, and you see the date. It is coming on the map. And here you can buy all this new equipment. If it's grayed out, then you can see you cannot buy this simply because it's too expensive. It costs 390, but I have not so much money. White is what is possible to buy. Then you can see here what is red you cannot buy because you don't have the technology. Here is a number of units, the build limit. So I can buy 6 more here, 19 more here. So this is more or less normal price. If there's still some number, you can still buy units for normal price. And everything getting more expensive if you buy over. So I think the normal price is 150, but because there's no free unit more left, you would pay now 165. And if you buy, I think, one more, then it's even more expensive. So it's getting more and more expensive. For cavalry, I mean, for this infantry stuff, it nearly doesn't matter. But you cannot buy unlimited HQs. This is already a big handicap. And also artillery. You cannot buy too many. This is then soon over. Railguns and all of this. Good. So you can buy new equipment, but then you also must wait. This is production delay in months. So this is months, not turns. So in winter, one turn can be 1 or 2 months, so you can do it more quickly, but in summer you maybe wait more turns. And you can see that here, if you want to build a dreadnought, it needs only a little more than a year. And this is normally fast. Normally to build a dreadnought it's 2-3 years. But I think for game purpose they shorten this. 6 months for sub I think is realistic, possible. Destroyers, a little faster everything. So buy more equipment. But at the beginning of the game, I would say you have also still the option for diplomacy, but for central powers, I think it's less important because you cannot really do much. You could try to get the Ottoman Empire faster in. So last turn there was the event that the British, they give the battleship to the Ottomans, so this more or less pleased the Ottomans, and then they have now no desire for entering the war. Yeah, that is of course not so good, because I give also my ships to the Ottomans simply to push the Ottomans to enter the war. Now the British counter this. So this means if the Ottomans will enter the war, they have my battle cruiser and light cruiser plus 1 battleship from the British, and the British have 1 battleship less now. Okay, but first they must enter the war. So far they really don't care. You can see 0% here to enter the war. Good. Number 1 option is maybe for the Germans trying to get the Bulgarians into the war. But, and this is why the game is a little complicated, you must play it at least once or twice. There are many events in this game. So this means, like, if the Austrian units enter and capture Belgrade, the Bulgarians already take a notice of this, and this will give them like 20% or 30% boost to enter the war. And then if you take the next capital of the Serbia, then I think they already join the war. So you don't really must invest in something. But there's also some other stuff like Sarajevo. You must make sure that this Serbian army don't take Sarajevo, because if this happens, I think the Romanians here are very interesting to enter the war. Also, if the Russians are successful in taking Lemberg, they will take a huge step forward. and so on and so on. Good. So diplomacy, but I think not for the Central Power so important. The next most important, I think this is maybe the number one where I would put my money at the beginning of the game, is always in research, because needs always long time. It's not you don't have a fixed time that you get the A&D. There's always like a check. If the check is successful, you get more percentage points to finish the A&D. But sometimes you can get, like, I think 5 or 10% or 15% per turn for a technology, but sometimes it's double even, but it's not fixed. So, and you already some free technology depending on the nation. This is always changing. And you have also a total maximum A&D pool. So Germany have, I think Germany is maybe with the British the same. They have 1,600 maximum A&D pool. Austria have only 1,200, and the Ottomans have the same. Yeah, so you can see that the Germans are more smart, or they have more smart people, or whatever. So normally what everyone try to get first is better infantry weapons. I will go for this for sure. This is really powerful. Then, because you are Germany, you would also want to have maybe production technology. Normally, yeah, if you go over, you get 5% discount for rebuying units. This is normally always, I think this is for the big nations losing a lot of units important, like Germany, Russia, and the French. And Austria, maybe. For them, it's really important. For England, I think, and Italy, it is not so important. Ottomans, I think, also not so much. This gives you simply more money every turn. Industry output is also important. For the French, it's also, I think, French, Russian, German, Austrian, they all need trench warfare. I think so. I will go for 1 for trench warfare. You can also go double. I think you can go up to 3 maximum. And the number here behind is the maximum tech level. So there is a maximum tech level of 5. I have now currently 0. And so you can see. So I have still 200 points left. Germany need also a better subs, that for sure. And then I have a little points left for maybe additional industry. Try this. Good. If you have more points, you can create, or there's, I think, a higher tendency to create more resource point. But the efficiency is, I think, less. So, like, you have 1 point, you get 100% A&D points chance. If you have 2 points, it's like, I think, 175%. And then you put 1 more point in, then it's like 210% or something. It's always getting less efficiency. So you can boost and try to push for one technology a lot, but it's not always getting better and better and better. Good. This is so for Germany. And the Austrians. The Austrians have the problem that they are still under pressure with the Russians. But you need at least trench warfare. And you can also see that some prices are different, not always the same. Don't ask this why, but it looks like the Austrian scientists say sometimes they ask for more money. So I would need for at least the trench warfare with the Austrians and additional infantry weapon. That is, I think, the minimum I need. The Ottomans, they have no money, so they cannot invest anything. Good. So this is where I spend my money. And then you can always start the map wherever you want. Because I know now that the Austrians are, or the Ottomans are not likely to join the war so quickly, then I can maybe, then I go first with the Ottomans. then I have more time to prepare here a little. I take the small units back. These are, you can also see here, this is detachment. They are really only for defense. They are only holding a city, a strategic point. They are nothing more. They're only for holding something, never really for attacking. These are corps. This is standard infantry units. Yeah, the thing. These are the main units you will use at the beginning of the war. Later you have artillery, tanks, aircraft, fighter, bomber, strategic bomber, recon bomber, flak, and siege artillery, I think also. Good. This is only. Oops. Yeah, if you make a wrong click, you don't scout anything and get no new information on the map. You can always go back. This is okay in this game. Good. This guy better stay here because this is a strategic position. Everyone like to take. So okay, where I start. Let's go back to this Serbia front line. So I have a new HQ. This is, but you can see already that the Austrians are really so shitty. I don't know how the Germans. It's like the Italians. No one wants the Italians in the Second World War, and I mean, they also no one wants them in the First World War, but only the British. But you can see already that these both HQs are they're stupid, nothing more. They have no skills. 4 is maybe okay, but 3 is really. If I remember, this guy was in charge for the security in Sarajevo, where this accident happened and the Archduke gets killed. So he was normally in charge to make sure that this not happened. And then, yeah. But I read about his story, and it was like a, I don't know, a clown. Thanks. Okay. So first rule is checking if there's a units left. Okay, so this guy is a more shitty guy. So I can release all units first and let a little better guy take over. So he have this guy. I first adjust or try to get as many possible units on him. Okay. Then like one here. And then I can walk back and adjust this unit. Good. Yeah, you can also only, I think, connect units to a HQ before the unit moved. So once the unit moved, they cannot adjust more to a HQ. So you must always check this first better. If I remember, they always change the rules in this game over the years. So it can happen that they maybe change this also. Good. So this is attack with preparation, but over the river. So plus 30%, minus 35%. This would be attack with preparation, no river, so much more powerful. The Serbia unit have 2 ground cover. So I maybe attack here first. Let me check. This unit can also walk in and attack. Okay. I try to attack. Then move back. Three to one. This is okay. 2 to 1. 1 to 1. Make 2 to 1. Move back to cover my HQ, so then the HQ have no problem. Now I can take here. I think this unit can still do. Okay, now it's really burnt out. Maybe bring it here. Ah. Okay. Good. I took Belgrade. Uh, Still some losses, but it's okay. And now this unit, because I can attack here and slaughter, or at least weaken this Serbia unit. It's also okay. Ah, good. But I better fall back, so because all the Serbia units could attack me directly. Then I can refresh these units maybe next turn. Good. I think this is okay. I took Belgrade capital. Then you can see the next capital will be normally here. This is an alternate capital. So the capital of Serbia will move to Niš. And yeah, they changed this, I think. Oh no, here's also. This is in the third capital. So the Serbians never give up. They always move back to the last city. Only if you take this city, Serbia will collapse and give up. Good. Was okay. Some losses on my side, but acceptable. The Budapest have a block unit. This block unit I will need later here at Italy, so I can move it immediately there. Here is my scout airplane. For what I need a scout airplane. I bring you to the front line. Good. So let's see how is the situation here at the east front with the Russians. My units are here. Oh yeah. Most important is, again, before you touch normally everything is normally check your HQs. I would always, at the beginning at least. So auto assistant. Yeah, also. Then I detach this unit. Oh no, wait. Detach. Detach. Then I can walk into. Yeah, I think I can walk here. Detach these two units. Attach them. Ah yeah, then it's already full. Okay. And this guy. Okay. He controls these 3 units only. But he has one more, but I'm not in range. Okay, so I move here. Now I'm in range. Attach this guy. Maybe I can give this unit also over. Ah, out of range. So I do it like this. Ah, too many units. Yeah. Better control this guy. Because this is a frontline unit. This is only the rear. I mean, there's so far no Russian attack. Okay. What you can do is always moving out and in if you want. So I can normally move like 2 units, scout here a little. More Russian units. Here's the HQ. Yeah, but I better fall back. Here is a good opportunity to attack. I can create more damage for the Russians. I could do this. If it's clever, I don't know. This unit is a little broken. I give them reinforcements. Try to hold. 3, 2. This guy we try to fall back and entrench. 4. 4. Hey. Maybe make a mistake. The cavalry will never be strong enough to hold against infantry. That is waste. I can better let them entrench here. And then I move this. I think this guy is stronger. So I move this guy here. Here. There's the only cavalry unit. This is maybe a good opportunity to attack. This is more or less like a scouting unit. So I can say attack. Oh. At least no damage on my side. Then move forward. Kill. Back in cover. Okay. So this was a Russian cavalry scouting unit. Good. Then I bring you more in the east. I cannot entrench. Oh? Not sure why, but yeah. I need more forces here in direction east. I must walk. This will be much stronger attack soon, so I better stay like this. Yeah, I think this is enough for the Austrian units. It's not the goal to kill the Russians. It's only to inflict damage and try to hold what is possible as long as possible to at least survive the summer of 14. So after the winter, the Germans are normally here in the east and helping out. Good, now the East German front line. I have here Bülow on the East Prussia, and normally he's Hindenburg, he normally take over, but I can also send him for the more this Polish front line. I don't really have here many units for this up to now, so first auto, and this is a ranking of 8. This is, I think, the highest compared to a 5. So if I give to Hindenburg some of the units, would be more helpful. So I maybe disengage these units. And moving this direction. And connect all of them. Maybe like this. Later, I try to build up here a German-Polish army and then use Hindenburg for this. But up to now, all my forces are in the west. So, needs some more turns. The Russians dig in here, they're closing in. This is what this is maybe very standard tactic. You close in, you can attack, and if you think attacking makes no sense, you simply duck in. And then next turn, you can, out of this preparation position, you have a better chance to attack. And if you think that the enemy is simply too strong here, then it's really the question: you want to hold the city for what reason, or you maybe simply fall back. So I could normally now say, I maybe give up this position, or I try to counterattack and inflict here more damage. It's always a question how strong you want to try to attack early on. Naja, maybe I better really only hold the position. No, I have here the river on my side, at least here is the river. So this position is normally strong. This is a little weak. Maybe I can reinforce this guy. This is only a detachment, so it's much cheaper. And also this guy. Good, they have all now maximum. I better let them come. There's not really much to win here for me. So you can also see that the Russians are not really attacking out of Poland. They're really coming normally out of Lithuania. Good. Here's some reinforcements already on the way. Good. Now the big question is how to go in the west. I would say now it's normally time to attack Belgium. I don't know, you can... It's nearly impossible to defeat French if you don't attack Belgium. It's possible, but very unlikely. So, I know Germany attacking declare war, but if it normally doesn't matter which nation declare the status of war, because this is they playing together. So I declare war on Belgium. You won't really do this, and the English are also joining. So I can also go to convoy. I could now send money to Austria to help them, because Austria is normally not so strong. So I say I can give 10% of my income to Austria. And because this is transported, land transportation, so there's no risk of losses. Because all of these convoys can be intercepted by submarines or surface radars. Good. Yeah, the British joined the war. Good. All units are connected. Here's a Belgian fort. Yeah, this is a recon bomber. They're not really making too much damage now early on. Later they are changing to tactical bombers, but now they are recon airplanes. They give a bonus for follow-up attacks, so I scout more or less this hex. And then you have a better position. You could make more damage, not always, but it's possible. So question is only how I attack here. So the unit was forced to retreat, so I don't suffer any casualties. Now I can move here out of this hex. All 4. No, this is 4. So I normally try to use the most far away unit and just reach the hex mid 4. It means I can still attack. Because this is a fort, I take for free, so I don't need any defense. Okay. If you destroy a unit, you sometimes get a morale bonus. But this is only if the enemy unit is more or less official out of supplies or on low supplies. And low supplies means if you have less than 6 supply. You can see this here, there's always a supply and it's white. Then it's fat white, it's over 5. If you have only 5 or less, it's not, then it's, I think the Turkish units have this. Maybe. Here. This unit is in supply of 5. It's only gray. If this unit gets destroyed, it's the game simply say then it's not connected. It's a very simple rule, but it says like this is more or less the way to make sure that a unit is not connected, and then if you destroy it, the other side get a bonus, and your unit is destroyed, and you must buy it back with full price. The French units I destroyed here the turn before, they was in supply, so I get no bonus for this. And the French player, AI or human player, can buy them back for half price. You still lose this unit, you still suffer the morale damage to your units, so you have still losing your morale points. That is all the same, but you can simply buy it back half price, and I think it's only half price. I'm not sure it's you get them faster back. But the idea is more or less like not everyone is dead. Many are only simply fleeing. The unit is shattered. Then you, after some time, you can collect these broken units, and then you add some more fresh units, and then it's simply cheaper to rebuild it. If you lost all your unit because it's encircled and then all prisoner of war, then of course there's nothing more to build this unit out, and you must completely start from the beginning. Good. So now how to continue. I would normally like to take Brussels. Let's see if it's possible. This unit have only a supply of 3, so it's have low morale because the Belgian government don't pay the soldiers very well. Oh. Okay, I inflicted damage, but and I lost nothing. But here's normally the point now: destroying as quickly as possible. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, lucky. So I can move here. Then I can move this unit. Oh. Oh. So no one pays them and they're still fighting. Shitty Belgian people. So then my cavalry must do the job. Move in. Kick them out. I get the bonus because the unit was low on morale. Now I can bring in my I can also use the cavalry here. Okay, good. So this was more or less operation against Belgium. This was successful, I would say. Now I can move my headquarters a little forward. And you have always the S key to see. The first is the old supply situation. If you push it again, then you can see this is a calculation of supplies for the next turn. And like I said, the number 1 rule is you must make sure that your units have at least 6 supplies at the end of the turn. Because if they are out, if they are maybe here, then they are simply out of supplies and suffer. 5 is still better than 4 and so on and so on. But 6 is normally the minimum supply to keep your unit well fed. So this was the Belgian Strike, this was also okay. Here I can move a little forward. Here I can move forward. So Verdun is of course a fortress. You can see that here's the unit have a 6 entrenchment, so it's very hard to attack. For this you need normally heavy artillery. And you better surround this unit that it cannot get supplies more. Because the game also calculate always from major cities to get supplies. You can see this is a city of 10. Then it the more far away, then the supplies is reduced. But the HQ will more or less create more supplies. So if you have a city or a supply source of at least 6, HQ will, I think, increase the supply of 2 points or even up to 10. I think Mainz is a supply city of 8 because he has a HQ. It will change it to a 10. Oops, wait. So if I push here, it is 10 now because he is normally 8, but the HQ make out of this 10 and then the distance. On a road, -1, and if there's no road, then normally -2. In desert, it's changed even more. So roads helping, big cities helping, HQ is helping. Good. So what is here in the source of fronts? I don't know if I really want to do here too much. Maybe I only move forward. Let me check. So if I move in this hex, I would only have a support or supply of 4. I can move my HQ here down. This will maybe help me. But the question is why I won't do this really. Because maybe I could move here. Now the supplies are 7. 7 is, I think, better. Okay. If I move this unit... yeah, I could make... I do this. Right, not really changing too much. This unit get more, but this is still... I could go here now, then I have a 6. Problem is, if I walk there, I cannot entrench at the same time. But... no, I better don't try. So I entrench here at the front line. This is already entrenched. Double entrench make nothing. You can only change the position of the entrenchment, but this guy can stay there. Additional front units. So the question is, normally you also must prepare always additional forces. So where you want to attack, you normally attack, move back. The next unit attack, move back. So this is why you need more units normally to fight. I could attack maybe here. And this French unit is not in undercover or in a dig-in position. So I could attack with this. Normally I don't like to attack with a 7. The horses are also not so well good, so well, I have no other option. I attack. Move back. Still so weak. No damage. Okay. Still not destroyed, but I make sure that it's really broken. Good. Move you forward. always, if possible, entrench. Simply better make sure, I mean, it's for free. This costs no money. And here also move forward and entrench. This guy cannot entrench. Okay. This guy could entrench. Why not? And this HQ can normally stay here first. Any unit out of supply? No. So this is also why you sometimes better keep one HQ or don't move them so much at the beginning that you, if you realize, oh, some units are out of supplies, you can maybe later move a HQ, because the supply is for everyone. You don't must attach them. This is the overall rule. Good. So I would say this is now all fine. Oh, here's one more unit. Oh, good. Maybe I can bring you... Or I could maybe also bring some forces back. But better not. I bring you to the east front? Maybe. I can make them... I mean, you can rail units, but you pay money for this. Force march is maybe simply cheaper. You need forces in the west, or I need forces... yeah, I can stay here in the west. So, the big last point is normally the navy. Normally I like to make navy at the end or at the beginning, one of both. Ships is not full ready, I will never send out, and now the British are here also, so I think better don't risk too much. So I take my subs out. Oops, this was one too much. Maybe I go... The British are just entering the war, so I can... like this. I think the Germans have only 2 submarines at the beginning. And all the battleships I keep here first. I must repair everything. The submarines are here on they can... I think they're automatically on radar mode. So this is a UK-Russia convoy line. You must be here on this line anywhere, then you will simply destroy some of the supplies sent to the other nation. Also, the submarine will create experience out of this. Additionally, you have this British blockade fields. If you have a submarine here, or I think also surface radar, you sink the convoys and there's less money arriving. And also you will damage the port. I think the port will lose 1 point per each day there's a unit blocking. And so it means if you stay, I think, at least up to, depending how big the port is, I think up to 10 turns you stay in one of these hexes belonging to the port where it's go. The port will go, it's always weaker and weaker, so this also means that the nation get less money, and then the port will close. And once the port is closed, I think it needs more time to reopen again. So additional losses for the nation, England in this case. And I think also there's some, you can then later also make a decision, but we will see this soon. Good, I think this is first all. I make the Western Front with the Germans, East German Front, East Austrian Front, and the Serbia Front. No Italy Front and no Ottomans. I spent my money, nothing more to do. So let's end the turn. Yeah, Brussels capture. Serbia, oh no, we're losing Belgrade. We fight on. Stupid. The Belgians also, no, we fight on. Okay. So this is now, you want to supply the Ottomans with some advisors and money, and most important is Sanders, a German general. He was more or less the backbone of the Ottoman army logistic. He really helps, I think, the Ottomans to get the stuff together and hold so long. He was maybe not a frontline commander so much, but he was in the rear and organized a lot of stuff in helping the Ottomans to get fresh guys in positions with skills and not only with a relationship. You can always check here the number. And of course, I will say yes. Then the Ottomans are happy. And this is only some, we have 3 Polish units because the Polish are always, everyone knows this. Everyone take a little from the Polish, the Austrians, the Germans, and the Russians the most. So you get the block units, yeah, okay, why not? It's cheaper. Normally, all of these decisions are cheaper than buying real units. Bulgaria is happy or looking, Serbia is maybe weak. And Bulgaria just lost the second Balkan War before 1 year, 1913. So they are eager to normally get revenge. The Goeben arrived Constantinople, so the German battlecruiser, and the French getting additional forces. German getting more forces. So this is more like the second wave. These are the units at the start of the war are all professional, and these are more or less conscript units. They have not so much experience. So the Russian taking or bringing in additional troops. The UK sent supplies to Russia. And the Entente starting the blockade of Germany. So then there's some short-time event. This is always, you cannot change it, this is fixed coded. The British, I think, have a little less supplies at the beginning because everyone was worried what the Germans are doing. Then you can see that the Germans getting full money. The Germans send money to Austria. I buy Hindenburg. I get money from my friends from the Dutch, but I also support the Ottomans, and then I have less money. And the Austrians, they feeding the refugees, but I get money from Germany. Oops, I ended the timer was up. Lord Kitchener. The call of arms. Oh, a French destroyer makes a prize. Oh. This was a surprise. So you just saw that this unit more or less, but I don't know Why? There was a surprise. Normally the other unit must see it. Anyway, the British are very aggressive. Like, yeah, they always make blockade, sneaky attacks at the first day of the war, and they don't honor any arrangement and blah blah blah. The British are always the evil people. But they're winning the war, so they always can write the history. So my cavalry unit trying to block her, and this Russian corps more or less had no sighting, so it gets a surprise. And you maybe see already that the Russians, they don't have the strongest units, but they have simply many units. That happened First World War or Second World War, it doesn't matter. Roughly speaking, you can see that the Austrians and the Russians are equally strong. The Germans are stronger than both of them, and the French and the British and the Americans, I think they're all on the same level like the Germans. But they changed this. In the old game, it was hard coded. There was a relationship. Ottomans had 3 base points. Italy, Russia, Austria was all 4. Germany, French, USA, and England, I think they had 5 base points. And then you get additional technology points, and you can get your units always stronger. But there was always a step between the nations. And now I think they change it, that you really can simply say you have more technology, you can get your units better. I think I can maybe show this. So this was just the turn of the autumn, the Allies. Nothing crazy, bad setbacks happens, blockade. And yeah, Japan also joined the war. But in the First World War, Japan was more clever. They more or less they're taking Qingdao and sent some destroyers later to help in the European waters. But they really don't enter this kind of meat grinder. And I think they took all of the German islands in the Pacifics. So you can see here that the U-12 at this hex position intercepted this HQ, the convoy to Russia, and 14 MPP getting lost. You don't know how many the points England shipped to Russia, but you only know how many they lost. So this is more or less here the blockade of Germany and how you can react for this. And you must try to keep it open, because in the long run, the blockade will normally suffer the German morale. You can also use mines, but be careful that you don't mine Norway, Sweden, Denmark, or something like this. And you have always the chance to make unrestricted navy warfare. But if you do this, you can close the UK ports temporary. But the big problem is that the Americans, they don't like this, because the Americans won't sell their arms. I mean, they are not really caring who is dying. They only care that they want to get rid of their equipment and earn a lot of money. And if the German subs closing the ports, then there's no business. No business, then not good. So the Americans say, do whatever you want, but keep the business running. So now we are at end of August 1914. And I think only to finish this, so I think they're making now this with infantry warfare. So the Germans starting with infantry warfare of level 2 out of 4. Austria have 0, and Ottomans also. I cannot see other nations, but I only can see my own nation. But I think this is what they changed. Before this was hard-coded. Now it's more or less the technology. So I can go still to up, but Austria can reach the same level of infantry warfare technology. Before it was not even possible. Now it is possible, but it needs must pay more money and needs more time. You can also see that this technology gets 7%, subs get 3%, artillery a little. So you can see that not too much, but roughly speaking, the Austrians get 8% compared to the German 7%, 1% difference. And they only have this one technology. Good. So I think this is enough. I will stop here the turn and then maybe see us next time again. Thank you all. See you. Bye bye.